What's up, guys, and welcome to another video. In this video we are going over Deadlock and basically what to do and what not to do. If you guys do enjoy this video, please leave a like on the video and make sure to subscribe button as well. Now what I'm talking about is Deadlock and its players. They have a little problem with endgame, right? So even I have this problem. I still have this problem sometimes, but I usually like force myself to think about who is countering me. So for example, what I mean is you're doing your build, you're buying your items. So say if you have a bunch of items already, say if I'm just gonna spam these random items here, right? So say if I have my items there, I have my items full, right? Or near full, you're getting near, you're kind of late mid game to the end game area, and you don't know what to buy. You don't know what's countering you. You don't know what's bothering you, and how to find out how is basically who kills you the most, right? Who does the most damage to you. Say if you're playing Haze, for example, which I main Haze, and then other like DPS characters like Drifter and Mina and stuff like that. So, and Calito, or however you say your name, that's basically how you do it. You find out who's killing you the most. So say if there is a, say if there's like an Abrams on the enemy team and there's a Geist, of course I'm going to get Inhibitor, because Inhibitor is going to help me with that. I'm not going to get Toxic Bullets because, Toxic Bullets is strong, but, I'd rather just get a big boy item like Inhibitor, where my bullets are going to build up that reduce the target's outgoing damage and also apply healing reduction. So it's going to do some two things rather than just one, right? And just affect bleed. So I can get Inhibitor and Toxic Bullets. They will stack together, I'm pretty sure, but I'm just going to get Inhibitor for both of them and then do my normal build. Right? You can also, like, for example, if, someone else is countering me, so say if Abrams is countering me, or say if Abrams is not countering me anymore, right? Say if somebody else is countering me, like Shiv. Say if Shiv is on the enemy team, I got Inhibitor, yes, that's good and all, but then I'm still getting countered by Shiv, right? I bought Inhibitor for Abrams, and say if he was bothering me a little bit, but now he's not bothering me at all. Now there's like no problem with Abrams. He's running around. I can easily go up to him, smack him around, kill him instantly, right? Or almost instantly, right? But then you got Shiv, and Shiv comes in, and then Shiv is, killing me with his ult. He's going in. He's just owning me. For some reason, he's just over farmed a little bit, and he's owning me. And or like, for example, like Mo and Krill or anybody like that, like you're getting Dynamo ulted a bunch, then I'm of course going to go buy Curse. You see what I mean? Like, a lot of players in this game don't know what to buy and what to sell. Like, sell your cheaper items. So say sell items like extra health, sell your, stuff like that. Even sell the other item. Where is it? Show you kinetic dash. Like, I'm on an M1 character. What they call is like mouse 1. So you run in there and you do a bunch of damage at the end of the game. This character is all about grinding in the farming up until you can go and gank players, and then also win the game by you just running down players and doing as much damage as you can, or as much. And a lot of players don't know what to sell, right? Like I said, so like this character, for example, you want to sell like kinetic dash. Sometimes I keep it. Most of the time I'm going to be keeping the other item though. I'm going to be keeping active reload because I'm going to have a big clip. So I want to active reload and get some damage in there really quick and, more fire rate for a couple seconds. So I'm going to keep that item there. So, you just got to pick out what items you're going to keep on which hero. I don't know what hero you're going to play, but this is basically for like DPS at least for the most part, because that's what I'm experienced in. You're going to be keeping those kind of items, right? Tesla bolts is always good for keeping. I usually keep it. And then like capacitor is insane. That's an active. You got blood tribute. That's insane as well. You can even get ricochet if you want. Haven't been really getting that. I've been getting lucky shot more, but as you can see, like I'm going after a person that is going to be countering me the most, right? So like I said, Shiv, I want to counter Shiv, or even if Abrams was countering me, I'm going to buy that curse to curse them and then kill them. So for example, like, say he's bothering me, I could just curse him now and then do my ult and do the stuff that I want to do, right? So yeah. You just kill him instantly. It's just like same thing with any character you're on. You don't have to be on Haze. You could be on like Abrams and you're getting countered by a Haze. You can go and buy Curse. You can go, obviously I don't play Abrams, but like, if you found a build in here, say if we found a random build, we go here, we find a random build, and say we're using, I don't know, Cran build or something. I don't know, it doesn't matter. You can still go buy Curse. That's like one of the major items you want to buy to go and counter somebody. You can curse them and then just, run into them and kill them. basically what I do. You know, if they have bullet resist as well, say if they have spirit resist, you can buy something that's going to help you with the spirit damage output, so the spirit resist doesn't really, you know, do that much to you if you're like a spirit character. But if you're a bullet character like Hayes, for example, you're going to want to buy armor piercing rounds to counter that. If they're going to have a lot of bullet resist, you're going to want to buy that as well. Just a lot of players don't really do this. That like kind of counter, like there's like items like this that counter kind of all the characters. You know, if like 1 or 2 people got bullet resist, then you're going to want to buy armor piercing rounds to go through that bullet resist, right? And like, for example, plated armor, a lot of players use against like Hayes, against other characters that have bullet damage a lot, and Vicdicta and stuff. And you're going to want to buy armor piercing because that goes through bullet or plated armor now. From some patches ago, they finally made it so this goes through plated armor, kind of counters it a little bit. Well, a lot. So that's good as well. You know, if you're dying a lot as well, but you're getting a lot of damage in, you could even like not even get curse, which it's a big one. If you just want to get cursed, that like curse somebody and then instantly kill them, that's kind of the counter person that you're going after. You know, like I said, like Abrams, or like, you know, who else could counter me? Like maybe Infernus is countering me. I could get debuff remover for him, debuff reducer, you know, things like that. Very simple, but you know, in later games, people are just, like I said, people are just not looking for those people that is countering them the most, right? They're not thinking in their brain. They're like, okay, what can I buy? What can I build? You know, say if they're at endgame, they usually just go like this. They just go follow the build, and they don't, you know, they're like, okay, what does the most damage, blah, blah, blah. But it's like they don't think in their head. They're like, who is killing me the most? You know what I mean? Who is destroying me in lane? Or who is just like when I go in there and trying to kill somebody, who is jumping me where they just kill me a bunch, you know, or stun me? Even stuns in this game. You could buy reactive barrier, example Hayes, and you could buy reactive barrier to, you know, get that little shield, that little 325 barrier. I usually use this item in early game to, you know, basically counter somebody else with their items. Because if Paige is on the enemy team and I'm against a Paige in lane, or if Paige is just stunning me, just like OD, just like focusing me over and over again, and she's using her, you know, her 3 to stun me over and over again, I'm going to have that reactive barrier. She is talking so loud. Holy shit. But you know what I mean? I'm going to use that reactive barrier to basically, you know, counter that. Abrams, Bebop, Paradox, Holiday, etc. Characters that stun you a lot, stun lock you, like Wraith is her ultimate as well, and things like that. And same thing with Spirit Shielding. I usually get this as well. Spirit Shielding is always good for other characters that are trying to deal massive spirit damage to you, so you gain a barrier before you instantly get hit with that spirit damage, and then you'll have a little barrier on you. It's just good examples of what to use against other characters, you know, like I said, debuff reducer, remover for Infernus, you know. Other than that, I usually don't try to over counter multiple people, because it does get to a point where you're just buying items just to try to counter people, and then you're going to lose the game because you're not doing as much damage. At least for characters that do a lot of damage like Hayes, you want to, you know, buy those items that are in your build, that are meant for your build. So for example, like I usually get Lucky Shot to start off most of the time after I get Capacitor and Blood Tribute, and I'm, you know, using these to go and just gank people and killing people. But then I get Lucky Shot to do massive damage there, right? I'm doing massive damage with Lucky Shot. Then I can go and get Inhibitor near the end, like super late or very late. Then I can go get Inhibitor to, you know, shred the Abram or anybody else that have a lot of healing. I can have some anti-heal right here with the Inhibitor. Good example. If I'm getting like shredded by, you know, stunning, if I'm getting stunned a lot, and reactive barrier isn't doing it for me enough, then I could always sell it reactive barrier if I want, free up another slot, and then get unstoppable, which when I am in ult, then I'll be unstoppable. I can't get stunned, silence, slap, root, and disarm at all. Another example of like disarm, you know, debuff remover, and it just keeps going and going and like that. It's just, I see so many players in lane, and especially in later game, they think they're going to lose the game. They think, you know, I can't farm enough quickly enough if the other team is up in souls, which is kind of true. It's going to be hard, but you can still do it, and you can still come back in a game. And then they try to counter everybody, and then they wonder why they're getting, you know, super countered by just one person, and they can't kill them because their items are built for, you know, built for their build, but then they're like overcompensating, and then they're buying like weird counter items for, they're buying like curse, and they're cursing the wrong person, for example, right? They're not cursing, say if the Shiv's killing them all the time, they're not cursing the Shiv, they're cursing another random person to help out another teammate, but then you're going to die and then you guys don't even get the kill on the other person. You know, for example, you know, you got like Spellbreaker, the next instance of high spirit damage you take is reduced. I could even get this if I wanted to after Lucky Shot, make sure I get the damage first and then get like, you know, this. Sometimes I even go Ricochet first if I really want to farm and try to, you know, up them in farm. I usually get this if I'm like a little bit behind, or Lucky Shot to, like I said, get in there and usually get this item. But, you know, if I really want to try to farm up, get Ricochet. You can even get like Cheat Death if you're dying a lot, and you could like Cheat Death. If you're dying a lot, you can know you can do a lot of damage, then get Cheat Death, example. So like, you know, it's just like the same thing over and over again. A lot of players just man, you just got to learn how to do that. You got to learn what character is bothering you the most, since there's so many characters in the game. And when I first started Deadlock, I'm like, you know, who am I going to counter? You know, when I was first playing, I'm like buying all these items, and I'm like trying to counter like 2 people rather than just 1. And like some items even counter both the people, like Inhibitor, for example. You know, you just gotta really learn what character is bothering you the most and what you're having the most troubles killing and or staying alive from. You know, that's basically it. That's basically it. I mean, you know, there's just so many items in this game. There's even like Disarming Hex to throw on, like Rusted Barrel, and then Disarming Hex to throw on like a Haze. And then the Haze could counter that if she's getting, you know, Disarmed Hex a lot. She can go and get Debuff Remover to remove that Disarm Hex, so then she can just keep spraying. You know, someone Disarm Hex me like 1 billion times or cursing me 1 billion times, then I'm going to, like, you know, curse, you can't really counter it, right? You really can't counter it. So then I'm going to be getting the curse as well. I'm going to get a curse as well if someone's cursing me a bunch, you know. So I'm going to buy that curse. I'm going to throw it on them. Like, you know, say if there's like a Abrams over here, and say if I'm going on him every single time I'm ulting and he curses me, or he curses me before I ult and I can't even ult, and then I just die from him. Instead of doing that, then I have curse, and now I can just go pink, and then start spraying him, sleeping him, you know, doing whatever I need to do to kill him with my ultimate, you know, and then I'll basically win that fight every single time if I can curse him before he curses me. There's always players in this game where they're going to be looking out for you and your character, your hero, before anybody else's. You know, even if you're in lane or if you're in team fights, they're always going to go after somebody that they know that they can get an outbreak advantage on and kill overall, like a squishy character like me, or like a Abrams. Even Abrams get targeted a lot. Sometimes I even target Abrams if I know I can kill him really quick, or if I can go up to him with a curse and kill him. Curse basically just shuts down everybody. Like there's even Ivy. Like there's Ivy that has her ultimate, and I just throw curse on her, and bam, I can kill her a bunch. It's just like always having that mental focus of who are you going to go after. And if your character's like Victor, you can, like, you know, farm up in game, and then you go after basically everybody because you're Victor. And what I do as well, like with Dynamo, at least if you are playing Dynamo as well, you know, get Warp Stone, warp in there, and then all stuff like that. But you can always look at the enemies by just, you know, having your cursor when you're upgrading your abilities, or holding tab, or whatever the key is for you. Mine's Alt, which is easier. You know, you just go in here and you can go up here and look. What items do they have? Say if there's a person buying, you know, this stuff, I can say, okay, so he's got Spirit Resistance. He got also Bullet Resist, which is crazy. And he's got Debuff Remover. He's got Debuff Remover. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go buy Curse for him. Or I'm going to go buy, you know, something that's going to make it so he uses it, maybe. Like maybe Knockdown, maybe so he uses a Debuff Remover. And then your teammate can go in there and try to kill him with another, you know, another active, maybe another Knockdown or Disarming Hex or something. You know what I mean? Like just try to play around in their mind and think of when they're going to use it, when they're going to pop it, so then you can kind of bait it out. You can kind of bait out abilities and item usage and stuff like that, right? Another thing is like, you always want to get that all on Dynamo, right? You always want to go in there and do this, right? So if someone has a knockdown for that, you're going to want to get Debuff Remover, you know? It's like I keep saying, you're always focusing on somebody that is going to be hurting you and that is going to be trying to counter you, right? So if someone's countering you a bunch, then, you know, always get that item that's going to, you know, pre-counter that item as well. If it's a curse or if it's a debuff remover to remove the knockdown, like if I'm playing Lash, I see a lot of Lash players, actually, they don't do it enough, but a lot of Lash players, or not a lot, but like a lot of people that are newer to the game, they play Lash, and then they just get slept by a Haze, which is, I usually do it to Lash. They don't have debuff remover. Get debuff remover, man, or get Unstoppable if you're really getting focused and you're just like in the air all the time and you're ulting and then you just get stunned 1 billion times, then get the right item to counter that, you know, to help you get that ultimate off. It's not necessarily like, you know, just countering one person at that moment because you are using the item that counters everybody. But yeah, that's basically it. Also, like movement wise as well, if like you have the item that's for another person and another person's trying to counter you and he's killing you a lot, just like try to play around him, you know, try to go somewhere else that he's not there and try to avoid that hero. And if that hero tries to jump you a lot, like I said, avoid him at all costs, and then try to go and kill his other teammates before he can get to you and stuff like that. It's way easier if you do that than to waste all your souls to buy another item rather than helping your build out so you can do more damage and stuff like that. Yeah, what do you guys think? Leave a comment down below, leave a like on the video if you did enjoy this video, and yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys need any more help or whatnot. Give me some scenarios and stuff. Have a great day or night, guys, and peace.